Hey, it's another fantastic episode of the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. We're getting into some loaded questions, man. We are loaded with questions. I think you all are loaded with questions. The rookies are just about ready to report for training camp. Training camp's right around the corner. Questions galore. Questions galore. Can't wait to get into it. Let's go. Let's get it started. Oh, I don't know, about now. Good evening to every one of you. This is the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast powered by BWO. We come live every Tuesday, every Friday, 7:30. Oh, I did it again. 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. 7:30 used to be our old time. Now we're all updated. 8 o'clock p.m. We're coming to you every Tuesday and Friday. My name is Keith Brugman. I'm going to get you all the way around the horn, but I got to start down below with the brand new location, the brand new digs, the judge, Jody Moncrief, coming in, looking hot, man. Look at it, though. How you doing, Judge?
Doing good. Rookies report tomorrow. We got our first and second rounders. We'll see if they show up. We have a contract signing in the 12th hour. The next 24 hours should be pretty interesting.
We're going to get into that. We didn't talk about this backstage, Jody. We're going to you first with your loaded questions because you had one that was pretty good when it comes to, well, tomorrow. But first, I got to get to the man just to the side of me. You know him. You love him. Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. How you doing, Kenny?
Doing great, Keith. Jody, great location. Love the new location. Love the jerseys back there, the memorabilia, looking good. Keith, you're always looking good behind the background as well over there with your Broncos gear as well. Soon I'll have some stuff over here. I got some stuff in the works, so we'll get it going here. But just like a good loaded baked potato, we got some good loaded questions tonight. And speaking of great, he's not loaded. He's everybody's friend. Michael Ronquillo sending 100 stars. Sorry, Michael. I didn't mean to. That came out wrong. But you're everybody's friend, and I know you're getting a good laugh out of that. So good evening, Keith, Jody, and Kenny. 100 stars from the one and only Michael Ronquillo. Thank you, Michael. And sorry, I butchered the
transition
intro there. Yeah.
No, we'll say he's loaded with information. He's loaded with fandom.
Yes.
And we're loaded with love for Michael Ronquillo. Thanks for coming in with 100 stars and saying good evening to us all. And yeah, can't wait for Bo Broncos to get started here right around the question. Paul came in over on YouTube, though. He did have a loaded question. How bad do the Broncos beat the Giants this year at home? Kenny, you want to take that one? We'll take one from the audience to get us started.
Paul coming right at me with that, huh? For those who don't know, I am a Giants fan first, and Broncos have become my adopted team. Only because of our defense, Giants defense, I think it's going to be close, meaning, 10 to 14 points the Broncos will beat the Giants by, Paul, if I'm going to be fair.
There you go, man. Pretty good win for the Denver Broncos. I like that. Big E Broncos checking in, saying, "What's up, everybody? Good to see
What's
you.
up,
Thanks
Biggie?
for checking in over on YouTube, my good friend." Michael Ronquillo just busted a little bit of news that if everybody didn't see, they should know. Cornerback Sauce Gardner is now the highest paid cornerback in the NFL after signing a new 4-year contract extension. I believe that puts the PS2 in at the number 4 spot. But I think he's doing all right. And it talks a lot about the Broncos, what they're able to do and how smart they're able to do it. Get PS2 under contract super early. One last one before I jump over to Jody's first loaded question, man. Awesome, Jody. That's what you're getting, buddy, for your background, man. That does look absolutely off the hook, my friend.
Sorry. Thanks, everyone.
Man of many, many words sometimes. Mr. Jody Moncrief, don't get him started on some of his other topics. We'll get to some of those later. I think you'll have plenty of words to talk about them.
Can I ask a rapid fire question off of Michael's?
You can. Go for it, man.
I heard today on the radio they said Denver should do right by PS2 and rip up his contract and make him the highest paid corner. Do you agree with that or no?
Who you want to go to first, buddy?
You can go first.
I can go first. Oh man, thank you. Giving me the mic first. No, I think this is why you do what you do. I think he is one of the top paid cornerbacks. Just because you went out there and you got him paid earlier does not mean that you have to now pay the penalty and somehow accelerate him already. Contract just barely got dry on paper. Let's let him play a couple of years, and that's fine, and he can still make millions of dollars. And then, yeah, we'll be renegotiating this sooner rather than later, as it is. But I don't think we need to rush out there today. Kenny, what are your thoughts?
I agree with you, Keith. And Pat Mahomes isn't the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. So I look at other positions. Just you got him signed early. And it's rewarding to the Broncos. Now, if he was only making $2-3 million, you renegotiate the contract. But he's making enough money PS2 where he doesn't need to restructure that contract just yet.
We got Pearl checking in and saying hello. Got to say hello to Pearl before I do want to get to those questions of yours. So hello, Pearl, and thanks for checking in. Always great when Pearl's part of the show as well. Pearl's been not only a long time supporter, but a supporter. Thank you, Pearl. Jody, I can't believe when we were loading up our questions for this evening, took so long for us to get to yours. You have I think some of the hottest questions on the docket right now when it comes to what's going on tomorrow. If you know where I'm going with this, and you got some loaded questions. Go ahead and fire away, my friend.
Rookies report tomorrow, and our first and second round picks still do not have deals. Will they get signed? Will there be a camp tomorrow? What happens? I don't like that they're not signed, and I definitely will not like if they are missing camp days to sign or until they sign. That's not a good start when these are two guys that we are relying on heavily, in my opinion. Possibly our starting running back and possibly our starting nickelback. So it's a big deal, in my opinion.
Breaking news.
Breaking, Graham says. He says, that's timing right below this. Broncos and cornerback Jahdae Barron have agreed to a contract, Jody.
Forget what I just said.
No, it's not forget what you just said, because that's one of two, right, man? That's one of two. And this is a great transition, man. I know it's final hour, man. Does this give you so much more relief seeing that Jahdae Barron, our first round pick, is now in the books? A domino should fall. Is that your idea, or what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I hope the dominoes fall. If what I think this team can do this year, we don't need this kind of distraction. These guys need to be in here and, build the camaraderie and get this connection going. And they need the reps. So hopefully RJ Harvey will be at camp tomorrow and a day one participant.
Hopefully we get news from Graham or somebody else. Michael's usually good for some news too, that by the end of this show, we got 50 minutes. We have an RJ Harvey signing as well. Kenny, take this question and we'll take it 2 parts now, man. How big is it that Jahdae Barron is now signed, and how big will it be if RJ Harvey does or does not get signed and does or does not show up tomorrow?
Jahdae Barron signing was huge. He's your number 1 draft pick. Now, it's time to move on. RJ Harvey, time to sign. But if he doesn't sign tomorrow or by the end of this week, don't get discouraged, Bronco country. It's rookie camp. Now, if he's not in training camp, then I start to worry. So if he's not signed by, I think he will be signed by tomorrow sometime. I think he will be on the field. Your number 1 pick, that had to be the first one of the 2. And it shows you, who, not that RJ Harvey's not important. It shows you number 1 pick's the most important, and then it goes down the line. So RJ Harvey's a close second. He'll be signed soon, in my opinion.
I hope so. And I don't know if I would necessarily just wave off rookie reporting to training camp as being, nothing. This is really that opportunity to get in there and get really assimilated to what the heck's going to be happening when in a week or so, all the big boys report and it's go time. This is your one little, hey, I get to find out where the cafeteria is before I'm walking around like an idiot through the hallways. So, it's stuff like, like literally, like just finding the ins and outs and meeting rooms and scheduling and the whole 9 yards. They get to go through every single bit of that before everyone else shows up. And I think that's pretty big to know what you're doing as all the veterans show up, and the expectations are you hit the ground running, especially with a team like this.
Real quick, Keith, loaded question from Phil with 100 stars.
Okay. I was going to get to that Phil. One anyway, man.
You say it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it comes with 100 stars. So if you want to read it.
Yeah. Because I think it's a fantastic one. I love that the posse takes over and I don't have to worry about what I thought were loaded questions. I was already thinking about going off script. And now Phil's going to go off script with us. Do you guys think first and second round picks should have guaranteed contracts? Now, take into account that, years ago, what was it? I forget the last quarterback that got paid. Was it Sam Darnold? They got paid I forget who it was. They got paid the big money. And then they said, okay. Sam Darnold. Okay. And then they said, okay.
Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford. Thank you. I knew that was wrong, but right. Sam Bradford, the last high-paid rookie quarterback, all that money. They said, okay, enough of that. We need to get this in line. They reduced what rookies got paid, but then that brings the question that Phil brings. I'll bring it to Jody first, and then I'll go to Kenny second, even though Kenny brought it to our attention. Jody, should the first and second round picks just get guaranteed money right out the gate?
Honestly, I think if you're drafted, I think you should get a guaranteed contract. I don't like that they don't. So, yeah, all rounds, if you're drafted, I think you should get a guaranteed contract.
Guaranteed contract says one. Jody, the Judge Moncrief. What do you think, Kenny, man? Maybe new school versus old school? Do you feel the same?
I'm going to respectfully disagree and say, no, you shouldn't have a guaranteed contract because you got to make this team regardless of where you're picked. So if you get a guaranteed contract, that's saying you're on the team already. You're not going to pay somebody, 4 years, 20 million and release them in training camp. So I don't like the guaranteed contracts. Earn your money. That's why we have the rookie contracts, as we should say, so you earn your money. And then when you're up for a contract, you get a new deal. I don't think they should have guaranteed contracts, in my opinion. Earn your money.
Earn your money. Jody's saying you should get it first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. It doesn't matter. Hey, you're getting $300,000. It should be guaranteed because you're that seventh round pick. You shouldn't be playing around with it. If you're a first round number 1 overall. That should be guaranteed, whatever that contract looks like. Graham's kind of in the middle. He's saying all the first rounders. We were asked if the first and the second rounders. Get him out of here. I'm just kidding. I'll address Trevor here in just a second, who just popped in. That's the way he is. He just pops in, but that's okay. I want to get my thoughts on this. I'll get to Trevor's at the end here then. I'll bring him in on the conversation. Welcome, Trevor.
Thank you, Keith. Yeah, technical issues. I mean, that's why I'm so late. So thank you for allowing me to come in. Just coming in. I mean, I was gonna wait for you to get your points off, but I appreciate it. Thanks for not get too mad at me. But it's great to be here, Keith, and just heard some breaking news. So I allow you to make your point.
Yeah, we were talking about some of that breaking news and kind of we're going around the horn on that. And that's kind of got us to this question about whether there should be guaranteed contracts. This is my thoughts. Forget about guaranteed contracts right now. The NFL and the NFL players and the NFL Player Association needs to worry about whether they have to play 18 games, whether they go down to 1 bye week, and for goodness sakes, if they ever get decent insurance for everything they put their bodies out there, and they do, especially after they leave the game. Those would be my 3 initiatives before I worried about guaranteed money right up front as far as first and second rounders. How many players does that affect compared to third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh rounders? Yeah, you could guarantee all the money. Let's guarantee these guys some health after the fact. Let's make sure that they're not ran on the gauntlet for 18 games with only 1 bye week, which may very well be coming. So that's my 2 cents, a kind of turnabout on that. Guaranteed money, Trevor, is where we're at. Jade Barron got his contract today, just at breaking, making only RJ Harvey maybe the last holdout. We're hoping for news at the very end of this episode here, this podcast. But that brought about the question of whether we should be guaranteeing first and second rounders just all their money to begin with. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's about how much you're guaranteed. So if I'm not mistaken, Jahade Barron's getting $9 million in guaranteed money. And that's $18 million. He's getting half his money guaranteed. So this is kind of the reason you're seeing like RJ Harvey and some of these second round picks just kind of hold out for a while, because Jaden Higgins, and this is a familiar name. We talked about him during the draft. The Texans gave Jaden Higgins, their wide receiver that they just drafted in the second round, they gave him a fully guaranteed deal. And now, so that's a trickle down effect. Now you're going to start seeing some of these second rounders like, wait a minute, hold up. We want fully guaranteed contracts too, or something dang there close to that. And so I think that's why you're seeing these kind of holdouts for some of these players, because of one deal. It takes one deal to kind of reshape how teams are signing their draft picks. And Jahade Barron, I'm glad the Broncos got it done, because tomorrow's rookie training camp. So I'm glad they got this done. I thought that they might get it done beforehand. My concern is now shifts to RJ Harvey. When did they get that deal done? Remains to be seen.
We got 40 minutes plus, man. It's okay. We got time.
Keith, real quick, talking about holding out. Trevor comes in a few minutes late. He gets a comment from Michael with 100 stars saying, "Good evening, Trevor. Go Broncos."
Jeez, Michael. Man, talking about fashionably late, showing up with 100 stars in your pocket, Trevor. Nicely done. And I guess it was Michael who shoved that 100 stars right in your pocket as you walked on screen, man. As he popped himself on screen, I was like, "Oh, I got this great intro. I'm going to bring him in now that I see him in the background." He's just like, "No, here I come. Bam. What do you think about that, boys?" We love it, though. We love Trevor. We love having the 4 horsemen here rocking. We love having the Ronk here, and Ronk's been dropping news and dropping stars and yeah, just excited about what we have going on. Jody started off with some of our I don't know, loaded questions for the evening, and changed midstream on him as the Jahade Barron question or signing came out. I'm sorry. So I'm going to turn to Kenny. I know he had some loaded questions for us all. And by the way, Posse, you're involved in this. If you have any loaded questions, we want yours as well. So, Kenny, kick it away, because I loved your list. I want to know where you go first.
We'll do the running backs first. And I did the 2 of them. RJ Harvey, let's assume he signs. versus J.K. Dobbins. And I got 3 categories, so I'll ask each of you one each so we can move on and get all our questions in. So I'll start with Keith. He's who I see on the screen first. Who's going to have more rushing yards for the season, J.K. Dobbins or R.J. Harvey?
Well, I got to stick to my guns. I've been an R.J. Harvey fan from the very beginning. I still say that it's J.K. Dobbins that starts this season. But I just think the talent is going to be undeniable. They won't be able to, even Sean Payton, as much as he seems like he wants to turn away from the running game at every corner, I think it's going to be R.J. Harvey. And I'm telling you, Broncos country, even with a slow start, maybe pushing that 1,000-yard mark. Maybe I shouldn't do my hot take Thursdays on Monday or Tuesday. I'm sorry. So hot take Thursday right around the corner. I'm going to say R.J. Harvey, buddy.
Like it. I'll go to Trevor. Receiving yards for R.J. Harvey, J.K. Dobbins. Who's going to have more?
No, R.J. Harvey, in my opinion. I think he's a better receiving running back anyways. I think that's what Sean Payton's going to fall in love with. And I think that's where he's going to see most of his touches, at least the beginning of the season, because I do agree with Keith. I think J.K. Dobbins will at least start the season as a starting running back. But R.J. Harvey definitely got to use his skill set in the passing game.
Nice. Jody, touchdowns. R.J. Harvey, J.K. Dobbins.
Sorry. R.J. Harvey. I got tongue-tied there. R.J. Harvey, I think. I agree with everyone. I think J.K. Dobbins starts the season off as a starter, but I think that slowly transitions into R.J. Harvey, and R.J. Harvey has more touchdowns.
Ernie and Graham playing along. They're saying Harvey as well. Peter's saying if J.K. Dobbins stays fit, it'll be J.K. across the board.
Ooh.
I'm going to go. That's something there. That's a hot take. And speaking of hot takes, we have our hot take Thursday, Keith. I'm going to throw a little plug out there, and be sure to check out the Rocky Mountain Sports page. We throw our hot take Thursdays out. We've been doing this for a few weeks now, and I'm going to throw a little spoiler out there. Mine's going to be about R.J. Harvey this week, so you want to tune in to see what I put down for my hot take Thursday. But it will be on R.J. Harvey this week.
Is Audric Estime an option?
Not in this question. Not in this question. So I'm going to sweep the board. I'm going to say R.J. Harvey across the board. So that was my first for you guys, Keith. I'm not sure which direction you want to go next. If you want me to do another question, or you want to go to somebody else.
I'm going to take one. And I'm going to take one completely off the board. Guys, I'll be honest, man. I keep thinking about training camp, this Denver Broncos team, what the expectations should be. Expectations should be freaking off the charts. I don't know why it shouldn't be. We brought in almost all the pieces, the parts. We've done everything we've done, while, as my good friend, the Judge Jody Moncrief, continues to bring up, we do it under cap conditions still to this day. And look what we're putting together. But this is my concern. I want to get your answer. Who is wide receiver 2 on this team come the end of the year? I'm going to go to Trevor, Kenny, Jody. Just open-ended. Who's my wide receiver 2? We all know that Cortland Sutton should be our wide receiver 1, locked in. Who's wide receiver 2?
I'm going to say Marvin Mims, because I think he can play that gadget position that you need. I think he's going to be used in multiple different ways. I think Sean Payton kind of found that out that last season, and when he started using Marvin Mims a little bit more, I think we continue to see a step up for Marvin Mims. I'm going to go with Marvin Mims.
All right, Marvin Mims. Answer number 1. Go to number Kenny. Kenny, who do you have? Are you in agreement? And if you're in agreement, that's fine. Don't go off the charts just to be different. Who do you got as your number 2?
I'm going number 2, and I'm going to say Marvin Mims is number 2 as well. You drafted him in the second round to be a future number 1 wide receiver. There's no reason why he shouldn't be the number 2 wide receiver. And he had a nice connection with Bo Nix come the end of the season last year. The second half of that season, we saw him making some big plays on that Bronco team. Bronco offense. So Marvin Mims for me, for sure. I agree with Trevor.
All right. Well, before I go to Jody, I'm going to the posse because we do have Mims from Ernie Mays. We do have Trevor saying Mims. We do have Kenny saying Mims. That's 3. We have Peter Johnson saying Pat Bryant, stop the fight now. And Phil McLaughlin coming saying Pat Bryant, number 2. I'm waiting for more as we and Michael Ronquillo, just on cue, Devon Vele is his pick for number 2. Now I turn to the judge. Judge, who is the number 2 after Cortland Sutton?
I'll sweep the board and Marvin Mims, in my opinion. What he did the second half of the season last year, I mean, when Sean Payton started to use him, Payton put a lot of trust in him. I think you'll see Marvin Mims on the outside a lot. I think you'll see these big body wide receivers, Pat Bryant, Vele, more in the slot. So, yeah, for me, Marvin Mims.
All right. I hope you're all right. I mean, the panel swept as far as Mims is concerned. The crazy thing is, and I don't think they're crazy at all, you know, our posse, like Phil McLaughlin and Peter Johnson coming in and saying Pat Bryant. With Michael Ronquillo saying Devon Vele. This is my question, and this is my concern, and this is where I bring this to the table. This is why I asked the question, and I asked Kenny to be, you know, don't go off the table just to be different. You know, I think there's serious questions still about who could be the number 2 wide receiver on this team. And I think that's a big question to be answered as we head into training camp. I'm just looking forward to it to be answered in training camp. Trevor, I don't know how prepared you are for these loaded questions. Do you have a loaded question for the panel, or do I need to turn to somebody else?
I may be able to come up with one here in a little bit, but we'll go around the panel first.
I'm going to go around the panel. I'll go back to the judge, see if he has another one for us. Judge, do you want to take us down a path?
I do. I'll stay right on topic. Who's going to be wide receiver number 3?
Oh, well, we already had one in there already. I saw that we had Pat Bryant at number 3 from Mr. Ernie Mays. That's his thoughts. And Roy Osborne also chiming in with Bryant at number 3. So now I'm going to go back around the horn. I'll be last, and I'll go Kenny Kirkpatrick next.
We saying by the end of the year, Jody, or to start the season?
We can do both because I think
that's fair.
Mine will change.
Mine's going to change too. I'm going to say to start the season, I'm going to go Devon Vele, but to end the season, it's going to be Pat Bryant, and he's going to be next year's number 2 wide receiver.
Mr. Trevor Salzman.
Ooh, this is a good question.
The number 3, beginning and end if it changes.
Yeah. Oh. I'm gonna go with Troy Franklin. Actually, this is a guy I've been high on for a while. I think this is the year you got to see something out of him. I mean, if he's going to continue to be on this roster, because he's not going to play special teams. So you got to be able to unlock his potential and kind of, look his way a little bit more. So give me Troy Franklin. I think that this is kind of a year. He'll have a Marvin Mims kind of year last year. Marvin Mims from last year, I think will be Troy Franklin this year, number wise.
All right. Well, not that this is going to be a complete plug for Hot Take Thursday, but it wasn't that long ago that I talked about Pat Bryant contending for the number 2 wide receiver position in training camp. If that's the case, if he's that hot in training camp, he's my number 3 out on the field. I'm going Pat Bryant. No block, no rock. Guy goes and gets it done. I think he's going to prove it out. He's going to be our number 3 out there on the field, which brings me to Jody Moncrief. Where do you want to fall on the number 3?
I think Vele starts off as your number 3 to begin the season, and I think it's him most of the year. I am going to jump on this bandwagon and I will agree with Trevor. If Troy Franklin can emerge as one of your top 3 wide receivers, Denver will go very far because he is probably your most talented wide receiver in that room. So fingers crossed that he can take that next step. I think Pat Bryant is going to see time at the X, and he's going to, they're going to work him in slowly as to take over as that number one wide receiver. One or two, he's going to be playing outside more, in my opinion.
I like it. This is a good problem to have, but we also want to see a lot of emergence, I think, from this wide receiver group. We want to see more from Marvin Mims, more than just a special teamer. We want to say Troy Franklin take that step. We would like to see Devon Vele build upon what he did as a 7th rounder last year. And then you add in pieces like Pat Bryant as well. There's a lot of potential, and I think a lot of good potential, not just a lot of hopes and wishes and crossed fingers in order to try to get there. I'll tell you what, man, you never have to cross your fingers. You never have to hope. You never have to worry about Morgan Trinkets. They've been doing business for over 34 years. Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold at wholesale prices. Once a nationwide company, now they're just hanging out in your backyard, northern Colorado, southern Wyoming. And speaking of southern Wyoming, how about if Cheyenne days start this Friday, and Morgan Trinkets will be there at the Cheyenne Depot Museum. It's only their 30th year there. My goodness gracious. It tells you exactly how reliable, how amazing, and how locked in they are to the Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, and Estate Gold that they do. I'm telling you, check them out. If you can't get up to Cheyenne days, if you can't get out to your fairgrounds, your gem shows, whatever's happening in your community, don't worry. I still got you taken care of, but you need to try to get up to Cheyenne days and check out what Morgan Trinkets has got going on. If nothing else, it's just for Cheyenne days. For crying out loud, that's fantastic. But as I scroll through all of StreamYard's new lineup, Morgan Trinkets, I'm going to throw that up there right now, is over on Etsy as well. Morgan Trinkets Co. Just head on over there. That's Morgan Trinkets Co. Type that in. You'll find everything that Pearl has to offer. The Southwest Jewelry, the Southwest Pottery, the Estate Gold at wholesale prices, and silver, sterling silver. That as well, 100% sterling silver. All orders over $50 are shipped absolutely free. All major credit cards are accepted. Please check out Morgan Trinkets. And like I said, if you're in Cheyenne for Cheyenne days, you need to head over to the Depot Museum, say hello to Pearl, and say that the Denver Bronco Roundup was why you stopped by. We'd appreciate that very much. I'm going to try to get rid of this banner right over my good friend Jody.
Raise your head, Jody. Raise your head. Raise your chin.
Yeah. You need to be proud up there with Von Miller. Trevor, I gave you some time. Did you come up with a loaded question? And hopefully you're not taking us too off guard with your loaded question if you have one.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, this is kind of I don't think a question that's really been asked too much at all. And this, I'm kind of high on snap counts. That's what I look at when it comes on offense and defense side of the ball. So you know how the Broncos secondary has got a lot of depth in it. Who, as far as snap wise, who sees more snaps? Jaquan McMillan or Riley Moss in the secondary?
I'm going to tie this right in to almost what Michael Ronquillo dropped almost at the same time. He says, who will be the number 2 corner behind PS2? So we have McMillan versus Moss is the question. I'm going to go to the judge first, man. McMillan, proven guy. Moss, also proven guy. Also has Jade Barron in the mix. How does that all play out, and who has more snaps, McMillan or Moss?
I think this is actually an easy one. I think Riley Moss does. I'm not 100% sure Jaquan McMillan makes this roster. If Jade Barron is the guy you think he is, I think Jaquan McMillan can be a good trade asset. He may make this roster to begin, but it's a good piece that I think you could trade at the deadline or something. Get something if you got somebody hurt or whatever to fill a need. Because you still have corners from last year that were here that have played. You got the one from Missouri. I'm drawing a blank on his name. You got Abrams Trains. You got Davari Mathis still. So I think just the numbers game is going to get him.
Does that make then Moss the number 2 in your opinion as well? Then
it does.
Okay. Same question over to Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick.
Yeah. Oh, Kenny, you're muted.
Oh no.
Good friend Carson saying hello. I just want to say hello to him. Part of our K&K Sport, part of our K&K Sports Show team. We're on a little vacation now, so always good to see Carson in the chat. To answer Trevor and Michael's question at the same time, I think Riley Moss over McMillan gets a lot more snaps, but you just signed your first-round draft pick, and he was the top corner taken in the draft at number 20, Jahade Barron. He needs to be the number 2 guy going forward, and I think he will eventually take over that role this year and will be, Michael, the number 2 corner behind PS2. And it's going to be one heck of a tandem and scary for opposing offenses and quarterbacks' nightmares going forward.
Love it. Graham Levi Wallace. No, I kid. Yeah. Shudder at the thought, right? Talk about, again, just the steps that this team has taken, though. Now we shudder at the thought of Levi Wallace. I'll be the same way. It's going to be a mix of everybody. I'll say Jody was spot on. I think McMillan's going to have a hard time on this roster. It might be a trade type of scenario. Moss has to start off, but probably just because of his experience. But man, look how Jahade Barron, man. He could move from the inside to outside and end up taking over by the end of the year. Hello, Carson, and thank you very much for chiming in. I wanted to say hello to Carson as well. Just you beat me to it, Kenny. Kenny beat me to another question, man. We're rock and rolling right along. I know that you got another one.
Yeah, the wheels are turning, so I'm going to do this one off script. But I asked this one on the Giants show I do on the K&K Sports Show. And I'll change the order. I'll go Trevor first. I want a surprise either on the offensive side or defensive side, a surprise Pro Bowl selection this year.
Oh boy. Well, Pro Bowl, I mean, who wants to play in the Pro Bowl game? Maybe that's the next question I would ask. But,
he's a selection, meaning he played well enough to this year as a surprise that you wouldn't necessarily think he would be there at the beginning of the year.
Oh, I'm going to go bounce back candidate because, and I don't think he's a guy that necessarily would be surprised because he's done it before, but he's just kind of been injury prone. I'm going to go Hufanga, the safety that they just signed. I'm going to go Hufanga. I think this is a good bounce back season for him. Kind of a Brandon Jones kind of caliber season, maybe a little bit better, but this is a guy that's been proven being all pro, and he can make the Pro Bowl as well. So surprising. I mean, I think there's a lot of other guys out there in front of him, but he's one of the guys that I think could absolutely be a Pro Bowler this season.
Nice. Jody, I'll go to you next. You could say Audric Estime if you'd like.
I'm going to go off script a little bit, and I've kind of been kind of touting this guy. I'm going to go Luke Wattenberg. I think he's going to take the next step and be a top-tier center in the AFC and solidify this O-line.
If that's the case, Jody, I think the Broncos are going to go deep into the playoffs. So I'll hope for that one, Jody, because that would be a nice surprise. And when I say surprise, I like that. I like that pick a lot. Keith,
I'm going to first hit the posse. Graham coming in with Bo Nix, and I'm going to double this up. Mike Carmelini, who's been a great supporter of the show and has ranked us as one of the top podcasts in the past. Also said this name. He was really high on Alex Singleton coming back, leading tackler, and being something. So Graham's coming in with an Alex Singleton with a comeback season. If I remember the quote Carmelini put out there, he says, "I'm higher on Singleton than most, leading tackler from just a couple of years ago, and I'm lower on Audric Estime than most." Sorry, Mr. Jody Moncrief. My thoughts, My thoughts. I'm gonna put a big old smile on Kenny Kirkpatrick's face. You know where I'm going, baby.
Yeah, I do.
Jeremy Crawshaw is going to be a Pro Bowl punter for the Denver Broncos. Nice. Why not, man? A mile high air. This guy with his booming leg. You put things like that together, and he starts nailing some huge punts. Pro Bowl is all about name recognition. Jeremy Crawshaw could be a name recognition punter that just walks his way in, or maybe boots his way in to the Pro Bowl.
I'm going to put a smile right back on Keith's face. And a lot of the posse members know my good friend and everybody's good friend, Kurt Valenti. I was talking to him today and we were chatting, and we always usually chat about some kind of sports. So today was Bronco talk. And we talked a little bit about RJ Harvey. And Kurt reminded me that Sean Payton, this is the highest he's ever drafted a running back. And that includes Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, Deuce McAllister, all drafted later than RJ Harvey. This is the highest he's ever drafted a running back. Last year was the highest he's ever drafted a quarterback. And look what Bo Nix did. RJ Harvey will be a Pro Bowler in his rookie season. I'm going to put a smile right back on Keith's face. And we're going to have two rookies going to the Pro Bowl in Crawshaw and RJ Harvey.
Love it, man. Love it. Graham's not liking the RJ Harvey type because he says, I wouldn't be surprised if we're bottom 3 again when it comes to rushing. Man, talk about a negative hot take. Graham, you're killing me, brother.
Yeah, but do you think that's just because we won't run the football?
No, I think you will run the football this year.
What do you mean by that? What does that mean? Do you think that's just because you won't like Sean Payton's going to basically keep us away from ever sniffing anything out of the top or the bottom 10? Is that what you mean?
I don't. He's not committed until he proves it. He's not been committed to it. So
I was just reaffirming what you were talking about.
RJ Harvey can average 5-6 yards a carry, but if he's only getting 5 or 6 or 7 a game, you might be bottom 3 again. Yeah.
Pass to run ratio. That's Paul saying. You know what I mean? Right. If that's the issue, then yeah. Like I said, not only time will tell, as Pearl says, but I think that literally RJ Harvey could be a game changer that will you cannot deny. You will not be able to deny getting him touches. Keep in mind, it wasn't like the Denver Broncos were a running machine before I would say Clinton Portis came around. And then all of a sudden Clinton Portis came in and he started busting off 5-6 yard runs on the consistent. And they went, we need to make sure that we get Clinton Portis the ball just a little bit more. The Broncos needs a run game no matter what, says Michael Ronchi. I 100% agree with that. Got Kenny. I've got Trevor. I think it's been a while. Is it Jody back around the horn or is it me? Where do you guys want to go? Jody?
I have a quick one. Do you think does Evan Ingram line up more in the slot or more tight this year?
And you want to go to who first, man?
We can start with you.
You keep starting with me. Man, put me on the spot first.
Make it easy.
Make it easy. All right. Fair enough. I don't know if I like being easy. But that being said, all right. I'm gonna go off kilter. Everyone thinks he's going to be in the slot. And you have all these wide receivers that are going to be looking for spots on this field. I think you have the opportunity to still line him up tight in the tight end slot and still be very, very, very effective. Why not? It allows you to possibly get one more wide receiver who's you've invested in. Where did you take Troy Franklin? Where did you take Marvin Mims? Where did you take Pat Bryant? There's all these guys that need to be seeing touches at some point. Line them up tight, get an extra receiver out. I'll say that he's going to be lined up tight more than he is in the out wide, I guess you could say, or in the XYZ, whatever spot you want to put him in.
Real quick, I see Big E. Thank you, Big E, because that is true. So I was wrong on that. He did draft Reggie Bush with the 2nd overall pick.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can blame Kurt for that one.
Yes,
but that's true.
yes.
Absolutely.
Blame guy who's not here. Absolutely.
Well, let's go from me to Trevor. Where do you think? What are your thoughts on the topic, buddy? Where does Ingram line up more?
I think both. Honestly, I mean, it's like that answer. B or C. It's both, because I think Sean Payton is going to use him in different ways. I don't think it's going to be, one in particular way he's going to use him without blocking. I mean, Evan Ingram, I don't think you want him out there blocking, but I think as far as receiving tight end, you're going to see Sean Payton use him in multiple different spots and move him around on the field to get him the ball. You bring an Evan Ingram in to get him the football as much as possible. Now he's got to go out there. He's got to show he can stay healthy on the field. And also, I was going to mention Reggie Bush, so thank you for to Big E Bronco for mentioning that. Can't forget Mr. Reggie Bush, of course.
I just like my odds. You're going 50-50. I could go one side or the other. You got to get it split right down the middle. You say both. All right, 50-50 is what we're looking at from Evan Ingram. I think he's going to be lined up tight. Mr. Ernie Mays thinks he's going to be more in the slot. Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick thinks
I'll go with Ernie, but it's a flip of the coin type of thing with me. It's going to be 60-40 slot as to tight. He's going to play a lot of both, and he's going to be a weapon in both spots. And watching him in the past with the Giants, he can do it from both. So I would be happy with him lined up in either spot.
All right, I'm going to take one. Raider Nation, Chiefs, whatever, Chargers debacle, whatever it happens to be, everyone out there listening, and in the AFC West, I'll be honest, some of y'all stepped up your game. Some of you might be seeing some cracks, some falters, some slippage in the future. I want to know, though, as I go around the horn, who in the AFC West in this upcoming season is the biggest competition for the Denver Broncos for the AFC West title. I want to start off with the Judge. Judge, who do you think is going to be the biggest competition? Is it going to be, well, you know the teams. I'll let you take it away.
I'm going to go with the Chargers. I mean, they beat you both times last year. You're one block field goal away from beating Kansas City 3 of the last 4 times. So I'm gonna go the Chargers.
Chargers. Phil McLaughlin's coming in with the Chargers. Michael Ronquillo's coming in with the Chargers. Look at this, how this is flipped. This is amazing compared to years past, gentlemen, because even Pearl coming in with the Raiders as well. So votes are coming in. Kenny, who's the biggest competition for the AFC West Championship for the Denver Broncos this upcoming season? Pure and simple.
Man, it must be an outside perspective, but it's got to be the Chiefs until the Chiefs are knocked off the throne. But once you knock them off the throne, just like the Patriots, they're going to be off that throne for a while. But you got to knock them off first. The Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos haven't been able to do that in how many years? That's the biggest competition this year until you knock them off. Plain and simple.
Graham's thinking that Gino could go out there and tear him up. So he's voting for the Raiders, maybe in part as well. Brings me to Trevor, man. I can't believe we're here, man. This is how diverse this question is. We're all over the place. The Chargers, the Chiefs, the Raiders. Who's the biggest competition for the Denver Broncos in the AFC West to take home the championship?
Yeah, I mean, we're all over the board because honestly, there's the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. They all are going to be competition for the Broncos, serious competition this year. But for me, I've said Chargers in the past. I'm going to go with Kenny and the Chiefs just because it's Andy Reid. He's the best head coach in the NFL. Until you can knock Andy Reid off his throne, I think I agree with Kenny. You're going to have to kind of be able to show that you can beat the Chiefs consecutively. And the Broncos just have not been able to do that, unfortunately. Been pretty close. Doesn't exactly get you those W's. So the Broncos are going to have to go out there, knock Andy Reid and those Chiefs off their throne this year. And I think until that's happened, they're going to be your biggest competition.
I agree. If you look on paper, if you look at the past, if you want to put together what could be, should be, can be, yeah, it should be the Chiefs that you look at and say that's the team we need to look at. I'm going to go off the script as well. I'm going to the Raiders. I think bringing in Pete Carroll, bringing in his quarterback Geno Smith, getting Ashton Genty in there, you're starting to put together some pieces. And I'll tell you what, if Rick Scangarello can get the Raiders playing truly gritty football and competing come the end of the season against every single AFC team, AFC West team, I don't put it past what they're putting together down in Las Vegas this year. I think the Raiders are going to be something to deal with. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. And I think it's just time. Sometimes it's a small slip. Sometimes it's a massive fall. I'm calling the massive fall for the Chiefs this year, and that's why the Raiders are going to be one of our biggest competition this year. So they're going to fall off, even in paper, if it's looked like something different in the past.
Can
Jody,
I
it
ask
sounds
one
like you have a
off script?
question.
I do.
Yes, go ahead.
It's a little not Broncos related, but is Justin Herbert overrated?
This is not to completely off script. Let's put it this way. Overrated, and where would you put him in the list of overrated quarterbacks? Is there anybody else you compare him to? I'll go around the horn. I'm going to start with Kenny. Do you think that Justin Herbert is overrated, still held high in the eyes of many, even though he's accomplished, well, quite very little, like not a playoff win yet, right? Jody, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Kenny, do we hold Justin Herbert too high, the other Oregon quarterback?
If you're telling me top 10, yes, but he falls just outside. If you say top 15, I'm going to say no, because I do think he's a top 15 quarterback. When I look at the top quarterbacks in the league, what do they all have? They have an elite wide receiver. What has Justin Herbert ever had elite-wise at wide receiver? Hasn't been there. So I'm going to say I can't say Keenan Allen's elite. He's still looking. He's looking for a job today. So I'm going to say he's around the 13 range in quarterbacks for me. So if you're saying top 10, Jody, yeah, he's a little overrated. But if he's top 15, I'm going to say no.
Trevor, your thoughts on Justin Herbert? Well, let's hear it, man. He's the other Oregon quarterback sitting here right in the AFC West.
I think from a stats perspective, if you're just looking at stats, you're going to say yes compared to what he's actually making contract-wise. But if you look at the film and you watch Justin Herbert, there's something special about him. Did you see when he played the Broncos in Denver, what he was able to do against the Broncos? I mean, yeah, that game got closer down the stretch. Well, yeah, the Chargers were blowing the Broncos out in the fourth quarter. I mean, Justin Herbert, I think, is a special quarterback. I think that's why they paid him. Harbaugh ended up passing on J.J. McCarthy to keep Justin Herbert because he believed in Justin Herbert. I don't think he's overrated. I think that he's right outside the top 10, probably 11-ish for me. Like Kenny said, I don't think the numbers pop out at you, but I think what he does on the field itself, I think is a lot bigger than what the numbers actually show. That's why the analysis, you got to watch film and look at the stats both. But I'm a bigger Justin Herbert guy than most people.
All right. I'm going to maybe put a smile on Jody's face.
Uh-oh.
I think he is overrated, but not by much. This is the thing. I think that a lot of people go out there, and if you look at pundits, they try to rocket him to the top because of his arm talent and what he can do. And to Jody's back conversations, he gets a lot of play when it comes to all the coaches that he went through, and Brandon Staley being a bad coach and the nine. At some point, you hope your quarterback kind of elevates, especially if he's going to be pushed to the very top 10, top 5 quarterback. This is a type of guy that should be able to take over a game and do more than what his coaches around him are maybe putting out there. We all sat there and watched as Peyton Manning went out there with John Fox as his head coach or whatever it happened to be. And it was obvious that Peyton Manning was just out there running the show. It had nothing to do with the coaching staff. That's not what we see in a top 5 ranked Justin Herbert, which some people will say that he's a top 5 quarterback, including PFF. So I know that's where you're coming from, the PFF ranking, putting Justin Herbert in the very top tier. And if you're going to put him there, that's the type of quarterback that takes over games and wins at least one playoff game within his time frame. And I'll give you that.
I totally agree. I actually agree with Kenny's take. He's not top 10 for me, but he is probably in that 15 range.
I would love to see him under Harbaugh now for a few years, because I mean, if we're just looking talent, and I'm not trying to root on an AFC West AFC West team towards a championship, but I think that he hasn't got the best shake, and maybe the right coach can get the very best out of him, not at the expense of the Denver Broncos. Gentlemen, 56 minutes into the broadcast. He came in here last. He's going to give us his goodbyes first. I'll give first goodbyes to Mr. Trevor Salzman. How you give us some goodbyes, Trevor? If you're still locked in, I think you might be frozen.
Thank you.
Yeah, that or you're concentrated really hard on me. I don't think that's the case. Trevor, hopefully you jump back in here in a second. I don't want to drop you out. I'll just go the 3 of us. I'll go to Kenny Kirkpatrick since you took his spot, buddy. Trevor's locked up. You take the horns, buddy.
Thank you, Keith. Great show, everybody. Audience, posse, you guys rocked it as always. Fun show. Training camp's right around the corner, so we're going to start getting into the busy part of the season soon. But what better way to finish off the off season than with like an open agenda type show called Loaded Questions? So great stuff, everybody. Can't wait till next week. Keith and Trevor will be back Friday. We'll see everybody next Tuesday.
All right, man. We'll continue to go around the horn. So that means, Jody, you're up next, man.
Good show as always. I'm excited for rookie camp. Hopefully RJ Harvey can get his contract signed before it starts tomorrow and there's no hiccups there. We don't need anyone holding out, because I think this team is a serious Super Bowl contender. If Nix doesn't have this Super Bowl slump, and he is a key piece to this offense, a running game that we did not have last year. So hopefully he gets that taken care of, and it's all systems go.
Like a sophomore slump, not Super Bowl slump. I wish we were in a Super Bowl slump possibility right here, taking home a championship last year, but we'll look for it this year. Sophomore slump, we don't even want to hear about that, but I guess we do want to hear from Mr. Trevor Salzman. He's back, and now he's third in the lineup, even though he's going to be first. Trevor, final goodbyes, buddy.
I apologize for that. My internet just decided to, take a what. Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean, great show. I mean, I was excited to be back, and I mean, again, this is kind of where the news starts popping up again. I mean, we're kind of over that drought of no news happening. Rookie training camp coming up tomorrow, and then training camp happening for the veterans as well here right around the corner. So excited to see what these players look like in pads, and just get back to work. I mean, this is football season just right upon us, and just excited to be able to cover for everybody in our posse and be able to cover with you all. So I hope everybody has a great week, and as always, go Broncos.
Love it, man. The Go Broncos, the Mile High Salute. We know we're always in for a good one of those with Mr. Trevor Salzman, and a great conversation from the entire posse. Appreciate you being here. And from all the horsemen, Keith, Jody, Trevor, Kenny. Man, we're all here. We love coming to you every Tuesday, every Friday, 7:30 p.m. That's wrong. Now we go live at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to get used to that. It's just in my lingo. I was so used to it. We'll go back to that probably in the fall, by the way, everybody. But during the summer here, we're going 8 o'clock p.m. It's been fantastic. Appreciate all the posse, man, from all the star givers, the the Michael Ronquios. I think that we had some Phil McLaughlin stars in there, and just all the posse members that come in here. You know, the Ernie Mays and the Pauls and the Michael Ronquios and the Pearls that are going to be out there at the Cheyenne Frontier Days starting on Friday. Check them out. Man, we appreciate you. We love going live. We go, like I said,
real
live.
Quick, real quick. Before you do your final goodbye, 500 more stars from Michael, 200 more from Phil, saying I think Greenlaw will be a top 5 linebacker at season's end. So back to you, my friend, to get the final say. And I wanted to get that in before you did your guns in the holster.
Well, my goodness gracious. I guess so, man. Phil, thank you. I'll throw your comment up there since you're excited about Mr. Greenlaw and certainly excited about us, I guess, and dropping 200 stars. You got me all flustered and tongue-tied, y'all. Michael Ronquillo, no comment there. That's just a bunch of stars showing some love for us, and we appreciate y'all. Yeah. Don't even know what to do, man. Throw my pen, throw my pencils. I don't even know.
An early salute for them.
What I hope to do is be out there at training camp. I'm literally I don't see a way out of it. Let's put it that way. So right now, I think I'm all but like, other than sleeping in my car some night, I'm going to be like, probably even with that, I'll probably be providing some coverage for y'all. I can't wait. Training camp is around the corner. Expectations are here. Expectations are here. We expect to give you great coverage. We expect great things from the Broncos. Can't wait for this season. And it's all just about ready to start. Training camp right around the corner. Tuesdays and Fridays, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Also, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're powered by Broncos World Order, but we do got to get out of here. We do get out of here one way and one way only. Kenny mentioned it. Boots in the holsters. Oh,
wow.
Boots.
Wow.
Boots in the holsters. Been a long time since that one, man. Boots in the stirrups. Guns in the holsters. And of course, Denver Broncos in your heart. Can't wait till next time. Y'all have a great week. We're out of here. Good night, everybody.